Actually, that other translation, it could be the most revealing and helpful and well, relieving piece of research you could do. Another translator shines the light from a different angle, and suddenly all is clear. But difficult readings are rare. Don't worry too much about meeting one. If you get stuck, you always have your pastor to consult, or your readers group, said he with a question mark. Your readers group? This is don't worry. The scriptures you read, remember, aren't aimed at scholars. They're aimed at you and me and the people in the pews. If you search them thoroughly, asking yourself what every word brings to the meaning, you'll get the message. The Holy Spirit knows what he's doing, and don't forget to say thank you. I'll pick up a couple of things I said. Readers groups. Perhaps you already have a readers group, but I don't think you do, by the looks of your faces. If you do, I'd like you to tell me how it works, because I have no experience of such a group. I've never heard of one happening, but it seems to me a very good idea. The only experience of that sort of thing I've had, apart from this morning when we chatted to one another about what some idea we got from a reading, is a similar experience at study sessions that I've been leading when they've been asked to discuss a Sunday reading in groups of 4 or 5. Such groups began pretty warily, revealing nothing, and not sure how to approach this new experience. But very soon they became comfortable, never turned into a noisy free-for-all, a bit like this morning, which was good, but they mostly volunteered afterwards how much they'd enjoyed it and how much it had helped. So as I say, I don't know how to go about it, but I'd love to see a start made by some game readers. When I was, until I was a young man, and until more than a young man, if you saw somebody walking down the street carrying a Bible, you knew one thing about him. He was a non-Catholic. And he was on his way to something where I would now dearly love to follow him. He was on his way to Bible class. Work on your GP. There may be something in it. Certainly, I think it would foster that sweet and living love and knowledge of the Scriptures that Pope Paul VI wrote about. And the other translations that I suggest you consult. In the course of my work, I collect, I didn't set out to collect, but I found I had collected up to 10 different translations, though they were in my bookshelf. And sitting around in the middle of 10 translations is an experience. I mean, they can seem so different until you see that they're not. But anyway, perhaps something could be arranged with the parish council and the parish office to have 1 or 2 volumes available to readers who are preparing future readings. It's an idea I toss out. And finally, something which lies at the very heart of any Christian ministry: love. The Salvation Army slogan, we're all in this together. That societal feeling, where brothers and sisters gathered around the Word, capital W, related to one another by the love God has for us. Each of us looking for meaning, encouragement, strength, hope. I believe it's at least valuable to remind ourselves of that before we start the reading. We're related by God's love. That thought states the relationship you have with the people who are listening to your reading. It will motivate you to be as generous as the office demands of you. It'll help you take care that they can hear what you're saying. And it'll be discernible to your hearers somehow. Warming your voice, warming the whole transaction. It's the thought you can use when you have a second or so looking at the people just before you start, checking your target, measuring the range. The last quote. This is from the Vatican II on social communication. It was God who made the first move to make contact with mankind at the start of the history of salvation. In the fullness of time, he communicated his very self to man, and the Word was made flesh. Communication is more than the expression of ideas and the indication of emotion. At its most profound level, it is the giving of self in love.